What's going on, everybody? It's Nick, 666 Serpents. Cheers. Justin, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Cheers. Doing good. I'm excited for this one. We got
episode 9. Episode 9, baby. Got Andre on Chimera Reptiles, dude.
This is gonna be a good one. Got a guest host. Got come.
Oh yeah, we do got a little special person back there from the Black Lagoon. Let's see what he's creeping on. Look, he's got his eyes.
Look at him. There he is.
What's
up, fellas?
What's up, you weirdo?
Hey, thanks. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, man, I appreciate everything you do, man, for sure. If y'all ain't following Tyson, man, which I'm sure you are, I'm sure you've seen all of his crazy stuff that he makes online. Go check him out.
It's a good time.
But without further ado, before we get into these comments, I am excited and pleased to bring Andre to the stage.
Come on.
How's it going?
Mira. Hey, cheers, buddy. Cheers. Hey, I like that. You know, earlier he said, I'm going to go grab a beer. And we were like, yeah. Yes, sir.
Come on.
So, Justin, you want to run through some comments real quick? I know everybody's excited to hear what he has to say and what we got to ask him for sure.
You already know. There's Steph, top of the line.
Girl. I know you're getting pumped up.
Got you. Double dipping, of course. Got the Fasta.
There he is.
Got Tyson. What's up, Tyson? Double dipping like always. Let's go.
With the emojis.
Right? I gotta show it with the emojis. Come on.
Hey, he keeps it real, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Will in the house. Got the brother Ken in the house.
I hope he's having fun with old Sammy, man. You know they're having a blast.
Oh yeah. At that show. What show is it that they're at too?
It's the one at that military base or at a VFW or something. I'm not really sure for real. Go over to LMK and check it out, everybody. It's pretty awesome. Yep.
Got my Chuchi, which he's back asleep in right now. He's
dreaming about us.
Yeah, he's thinking of us in his dreams right now.
Wet dream.
Got Brave. What's up, Brave?
Brave, hit me up. You follow me now. Mitzi. Girl.
James. What's up, James? Jose,
what up?
John, what mission? I'm flying through these chats today, guys.
I know, dude.
Got Will in here. What's up, Will?
What's up, Will? Good to see you.
I think that's about it.
Been a while.
We done flew through them.
I know, hell yeah. Well, everybody, don't forget to hit the bell, like, share, whatever. If you don't want to, I don't care.
You start with this roll tide shit. I'm start erasing this stuff.
Roll tide, okay. Look, I'll give you a roll tide, but I don't want to make it about the best team ever.
Go Vols.
So hell yeah. Well, Andre, it's awesome to have you, man.
Man.
If you want to explain a little bit about who you are, I guess your salesman's pitch, whatever, how long you've been doing it, and stuff like that.
I'm Andre Kostovich, Chimera. I've been doing it since 2016.
Come on.
Pretty much had snakes my whole life. Like when I was 2, I picked up a black rat snake, and after that, I just kind of had pets, throughout the whole time. After during college, I kind of got rid of some stuff, and then in 2016, I started buying again, kind of investing and getting back into it for sure.
Yeah. Very cool. So, what got you started in the ball pythons? Like wanting to do that?
My whole life, I always I had one as a pet when I was 9. So that was in 94-ish or something like that, 95. So just a normal wild, I don't think she was wild caught, but who knows back then.
Well, definitely a normal.
Yeah, right? Definitely a normal. And then just looking at Reptiles magazine throughout my whole life, just always, seeing all the different morphs on there. I just always wanted one and wanted to breed them. But living in my mom's house, that was not an option,
Yeah, for sure. Right. So what was the first morph you ever produced?
Like a lemon blast clown.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right up.
I'd say especially for 2016 area or around that time frame.
I was going to say, when did you produce your first one? If you don't, that's what I kind of wanted to go out.
Probably
with
2017.
Okay. Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I was excited to get a killer blast, which doesn't sound that cool now, but I was, I missed out.
Well, back then, that's pretty, people don't realize, but that's a nice ass snake, guys. What it was.
You said lemon blast, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I got a lemon blast quad het right here that'll freaking make a grown man tear up from Val. Shout out White Feather. You know what I mean? Like, I like that older stuff though, man. That's where it all comes from. But what's a morph combo you're most excited about now, all these years later?
Hopefully the DG Clown Pied Exanthic. That's like what I'm excited about. Working a lot towards that. Still, maybe next year, maybe the year after. That takes time, but getting closer. That's a lot of steps to that project.
I feel like Exanthic, if you're gonna do it, DG's like the best thing to,
Yeah, it's awesome.
It just goes like it's like a match.
Yeah. I got Exanthic Pieds like pretty early on, and that's just like a perfect route there, and then just add clown to that. Just
why not? Clown's cool, and I've seen like Exanthic clowns, and they're pretty wild looking.
They're
like
real nice,
the way that it's like black and gray and white, and it's the clown pattern on it is so wild.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hell yeah! So I guess, how do you decide which pairings to pursue each season? Like, how do you go about that?
So I put all my stuff. Like, I put all my males up in a spreadsheet. This year I use Husbandry Pro, so I kind of just put all my males, on there. And certain females, it's like, where they're going to go. Because, with a lot of recessives, you kind of don't have a lot of choices. They have to go with a certain male.
Yeah.
Then other ones just kind of be like, do I want to optimize with, this male to make something that's worth selling? Or, I want to try to make something cool in every clutch that I'm excited about too, So,
for sure.
And sometimes just try to make something weird and see what happens. Because, a lot of times you don't know what it's going to look like, when you make it.
Yeah. And that's the fun part of it. I feel like when you're sitting there doing the statistics and the spreadsheets, it's business.
Yeah.
But then you got a snake that you're like, oh, well, I didn't really plan anything, but it's ready. And, why not? Let's just put this guy with it and see what happens. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that.
Yeah. I like trying to make something different and see what happens,
Hell yeah. So are there any projects you've been working on and working and you just got frustrated and shelved it and walked away from it?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's one. I like Trojan a lot, which I feel like it doesn't get a lot of love, but I'm still working it, and I think there's still go with there. So I haven't given up on it yet, because I think, with the right combo, it's just going to keep getting better,
I look forward. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think, but there's not one in my mind that I've kind of given up on.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people say when I ask that question. Like, I've been asking it the last few times we did breeders, and they all say that, and that makes me happy, because it makes me feel like people are motivated and determined, and they're not giving up on anything just because it might be hard.
Yeah.
It makes you happy because they still got pastel probably somewhere in there.
Well, pastel is king. You can either love it or you can hate it. But if you hate it,
pastel's good.
Don't ask me to play Serenade at night. Okay. So pastel, right? So Justin just brought up a great point to this question. What's the most underrated morph in your opinion?
I think Trojan.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like an awesome color palette and makes it brighter, kind of changes the pattern up a bit. I think there's a lot to do with that.
Okay.
So you're a Trojan man, essentially. Yeah. Very cool, man. Very cool. Nice to know that you play it safe. You're playing it safe.
Yeah.
Are there any morphs or combos that you try to avoid due to health reasons or ethics?
Spider's
obvious
choice for that.
Obvious. But is there any other
super spot nose I try to avoid? I never made one, so you hear about issues with it, so I assume there is, but I've never made one myself to know. But and then super black pastel, I kind of avoid that stuff like that.
So pretty much any of the super forms of anything that's gonna be a help.
Yeah,
have maybe and spider obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so
I don't have
like
any
champagne and stuff like that.
I don't have any champagne.
Okay.
Not because I don't like it. It looks nice, but it kind of overpowers stuff. But I just don't have it, you know.
Well, I know it has it's getting. I feel like it was spider, and then it was like I got rid of my spider, and then I do shows with champagne, and they're like, excuse me, they're treating it the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if you really want to get technical, there is a list. There's a laundry list of genes that are in the same kind of complex as these genes.
Yeah, like spot nose. I mean, it's not perfect.
I mean, there's a bunch.
You know?
Like,
but yeah,
it works well with a lot of shit, though.
Yeah.
You know, it has its problems, but it does.
Like blackhead. Blackhead can have problems. I mean, there's so many that can do
I like
that.
blackhead a lot.
Oh, I love blackhead. That's what I'm trying to throw into everything.
Yeah, it's a good gene for sure.
That and leopard.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into Justin. You ready? You ready for this? You ready to take over?
So I really want to know, how many snakes do you currently have in your collection?
Total
or roundabout?
I don't know.
A lot.
Like breeder females, probably 200-ish.
Okay.
Range, you know.
How many breeder males?
Probably like 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great then. That's really good numbers. Sure.
Yeah.
So you're keeping those males nice and packed, you know?
Yeah. And like I ultrasound, so you know, you might be on at 10, 10 males or 10 females going to male, but really, I mean, he's probably hitting up like 7 or 6 of those, you know. So some of those females aren't even getting ready to, get blocks on. So
Justin got his ultrasound and he's constantly like, look at my ultrasound. Isn't it so cool? And we're like, yeah, you fancy pants. We're over here palpating freaking snakes with our armpits like in the damn ancient days, like we're fucking cavemen.
Adam with Proper Royals kind of mentored me there for a little bit, and that's how I was taught, was with an ultrasound, you know.
Yeah. No, that's dope.
And then like my buddies were like, no, you gotta look for this. I'm like, bro, that's not how I was taught though. Like I just need my tool. You know,
if you were taught that way, or you've went to I would love to have an ultrasound.
Yeah,
right.
Honestly, I mean, it's because when you have an ultrasound, that's what I try to explain to people. It's guaranteed, pretty much, because you can read those ovulations.
It's like the worst. I hate doing it because it's just like, a female's trying to get away. You're trying to get
the wiggle work
with her, and it's not fun to do, but I've only done it for the past probably 5 years. So the first 5 or so years I was palpating and just figuring it out and just pairing.
I did for the first year. It's kind of what I did. I just now got my ultrasound, so it's kind of been just playing the guessing game, and paying attention to the female. And I got a few, but once I got ultrasound, it's like, wow, I thought this one was, this one ain't, this one ain't. I'm like, wow, I thought that, somebody that I thought wasn't this, I'm like,
right. Sometimes like there's a skinny one that doesn't look like she's going to go, and she has like 30 millimeter follicles. Like what's going on?
That actually was one of them in there. Actually, that was the whole case. Actually, I was like, "There's no fucking way," So, what does a typical day in your snake room kind of look like?
I kind of have certain days of the week where I have like scheduled things. Like I feed on Thursdays. I ship mostly on Tuesdays, and then Monday and Wednesdays and Fridays are kind of miscellaneous days. So, now I always go in first thing in the morning, check for clutches, check for ovulations, check for like post-ovulation sheds, check pairings, that kind of stuff. And then from there, just see what, has to be done that day. Either like clean or, clean adults, clean hatchlings, do water.
And with that many snakes, let's be honest, it is an everyday thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing something every day. Even when you make schedules like to do things, those schedules get interrupted and you still end up doing stuff.
Yeah, I have certain things I want to do, and then like 3 hours later, I haven't started that yet. But I went in today just to get more work. And during breeding season, there's always stuff to do. To check on stuff. So.
I guess John wants to know what critical device is in the single plug for Andre to his right.
My whole computer.
Yeah, don't unplug that. Don't
unplug that.
Red wire.
We would be done.
That was kind of funny. I'd say so. Pretty much, I guess you kind of answered that. But how do you manage cleaning, feeding, and health checks with a large collection, more or less?
So I try to do like once a week, everything gets cleaned and watered. So usually probably the Wednesdays and Fridays are the days probably usually adults could be Fridays feeding and cleaning and water. Sometimes that goes into the weekend if I'm busy, and then hatchlings that would be like Monday and Wednesday. Depends on what's going on, just kind of between those two. But the goal every week, fresh water, everybody gets fresh, gets cleaned, and then within that I change tubs out, when they needed to. So today I went in and changed a bunch of tubs.
Do you typically split your feeding? Do you do the whole collection all in one day, or do you all right, I'm gonna do some here today and do some here tomorrow? Or
I feed everything on Thursday.
So you feed everything, okay?
Everything, and then on Monday I'll go in and feed males that need it, like a double meal, extra meals,
right?
And then some females that want some more food too.
Okay, so, smart,
yeah,
definitely smart. Okay, do you prefer racks or display closures, and why? Well, clearly you're breeding, so I'm guessing.
I have racks, but I have one display, but that's for a lizard. But yeah, mostly pretty much racks, yeah, for sure. For a bigger species, I would do a display.
And actually, I do like this question. How do you handle difficult feeders and hatchlings that won't eat?
It depends on how long they're not eating, right? So if it's a month that you can just let it go, just give it some time. Usually they'll come around. After they get, I would try different prey items. We can't do ASFs here, but live mice, pretty much mouse hoppers, do the trick pretty well for hatchlings,
They love that stink on a mouse.
Yeah, they're stinky.
Right? Yeah, mice suck, but
they do.
Have you heard of the old timers that say to put vanilla extract on the head?
I've never heard that.
I've heard some wild shit, man.
Yeah. But yeah, then eventually, if they're just not eating at all, I'll do a cyst feed with a small, fuzzy mouse or something.
Right.
But yeah, pretty much, give them a darker tub sometimes. But for a hatchling, you can't really give them a smaller tub. They're in a pretty decent sized tub anyway. So.
Correct.
Darker does work, and I've noticed also, I'm sure too, if you feed at night, or turn all the lights off in the room before you throw it in there, they love that. I don't know why. Generally
for hatchlings, I'll leave that a rat pup in overnight because the rat pup's not going to harm them. So usually, if it's overnight in there, they'll get that. They'll figure it out.
Oh, when I was feeding frozen thawed, when I have 60 in the collection at the time. When I was feeding frozen thawed, I'd do it 2 or 3 o'clock at night just to get the perfect feeding response. I'd literally wake myself up middle of the night, alarm clock, just to go in and feed everybody and go right back to bed. But
well, they are nocturnal, right?
Yeah. Right. They're more responsive.
They should be. You would think that them being captive bred, basically, animals that should learn that, hey, it's feeding time. Because all my other snakes, I have snakes that most of the time, it's kind of intimidating because you'll bring the rodents in here, you'll open today, and you'll open the tub, and they are literally coming out, and you have to drop it in there, and they're getting it in midair. They're striking you. The rat jumping out of the enclosure, or the tub. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. And then you got some that are like, no, not today, not today.
Yep,
sucks.
All right, Tyson, it's pretty much you're up.
Awesome. All right, Andre. Well, first, thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Been following you guys for a while.
Yeah,
for my questions, we'll go into the business side of things. What advice would you give to someone starting a breeding business today?
I would tell them to think about it like a business. Don't buy think about each thing you're going to buy as an investment. You don't want to just buy on a whim, or focus on some hatchling females first. That's what I would do. Don't buy adults.
Yeah, I would kind of treat it like tattoos. If you want to get a bunch of tattoos, plan it out before you get some random crap like I
research it. Research what that Chinese means.
Yep.
And just know that it's going to take years. A hatchling female is going to take years to get ready. So. Okay.
Awesome. How do you handle your pricing on your animals, especially the high end morphs?
I try to now there's a lot of information on Morph Market, so I go on there and look around. Sometimes there's nothing to even compare things to, so just price it what you think you would buy it for, or like what do you think it's worth. You know, the more you do it, the more you can kind of feel what you think it's worth. But also you can just ask somebody else, be like, what do you think that's worth? You know, and just see what somebody else's opinion is.
And I did look at your morph market, and I will say you do have high-end animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say that the 95% of your animals are they're up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're beautiful, and they are what they are, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Producing quality, guys.
Quality over quantity, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Numbers don't matter. Just make cool shit, you know.
Make cool shit.
Yeah. Exactly. I love
it. Since Nick brought it up about your more high-end animals, if you had to give me one of your snakes for free, would it be your Cypress Desert Ghost Clown or your Spot-Nosed Jaguar Clown?
That Jaguar is sick, bro.
Right? I like her.
Damn.
I like her more. Yeah, I'll give you the Cypress DJ. Even though
that thing's
in a fairy tale magical land.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right.
But something with the Jaguar, all the Jaguar stuff eats so good. Like all of my Jaguar stuff just crushes food. So she's already like 1,000 grams now. You know, she's big.
Damn.
So
from 2024, right?
Yeah.
Damn. That's good.
Yeah.
She's blowing up.
Yeah.
Pushing it.
Yeah.
Social media, YouTube, how has it played in like your business aspect and your success?
I don't like any of it, you know, to be honest.
You're very popular on Instagram and stuff, and
I think that's the main thing I focus for. You know, I'll try to do YouTube. I just don't like doing it. You know, but I'll try to get more of that out there. But yeah, I think it's a perfect way to do it because just all the snakes look pretty. So you just take a photo of it, put it up there, do a reel and put it up there. You know, but hopefully, you know, I'll get more out there. Once you start hatching stuff, you get more all excited about everything that's coming out. It's easy to post stuff, you know. Now it's like not much hatching, so it's not a lot of stuff to be excited about right now. Just what's been around for the past 6 months or a year, you know.
Well, now you're shameful if you do egg cutting videos on YouTube. So
yeah,
you know, YouTube's basically no point other than to come watch the Sippin.
So, cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.
Last question from me. Through your career, what's been the most unexpected business challenge that you've faced?
Probably like when Patrick left Chimera, you know, that was unexpected, and that was like full of challenges, but just kind of got to put your head down and power through it, and it all worked out.
He said it. I wasn't gonna put it, but he definitely said it. So
he's on a roll tonight.
I know.
Yeah, John is for sure.
Yeah.
What's up, James?
Hell yeah. Well, hell yeah. So we're gonna get a little personal. Nothing crazy, but this is what we call behind the breeder. So there ain't nothing sneaking up behind you. It's just me. So what is something that people don't know about you, like outside of the reptile world? Like, what do you like to do, or what's something, you know, weird that you do that people don't really know about other than you breeding snakes?
I like video games a lot.
Oh, so you're a video gamer. Okay.
Yeah, I like
Call of Duty probably.
Stuff. Yeah. So I like Apex a lot.
You play Apex? You're an Apex guy. Come on.
Oh God, they're gonna be transferring tags and emails and shit.
Are you PC? Are you PC guy?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. I'm on my gaming PC right now.
Justin's computer is always playing Deadpool inside of the fucking tower. It's weird.
Yeah, I built mine. So I got like the water cooler with the LCD screen on it that's showing Deadpool, and then I got all my fans that are LCD screened up. But I'm all AMD. I'm not. I'm AMD everything.
Yeah.
I'm the Risen 9, fucking et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's pretty. I walled out on it.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I've always kind of played Call of Duty like from back in the day.
That's kind of what
Call of Duty is sweet though. Like GTA, Call of Duty, stuff like that. It's cool to me.
Yeah.
But we all kind of
at late night do Rocket League. It's just fun, and it's you know, when you're too high or drunk, you can just keep playing that. Not a big deal, you know.
Right.
But hell yeah. So I guess this might answer the question, but what has been a like setback or failure along your way that has like impacted you as a business, breeding snakes, doing the snake thing?
I mean, anytime you move, like physically, you're going to set back your snakes, you know? Yep. So like, you know, having to move unexpectedly, that does it, you know. And anybody that like just, you know, does snakes for 10 years, you're going to end up moving a couple times, you know, because it's just what happens.
It's a hard thing, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, I realized the other day it's been about 9 years since I've started actually buying snakes to breed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've moved like 4 times. And before I got with Vision, I'm like moving melamine 3/4 towers.
Yeah. Heavy.
And I'm like, that's why I probably got a hernia. Honestly, that's probably what done it.
Yeah.
This last move, you know, but it sucks moving.
Your females don't want to move. We have to move, you know, so it definitely, you lose clutches and females just aren't as happy.
Have you ever had to move with clutches, like in the, like, you know, in the incubator, or like?
One time I did drive with eggs in a cooler in my back of my truck, or like in the back, you know, the back right there.
Yeah, the back seat or whatever.
And had an incubator waiting for me like 2 hours away. But
oh wow, you went a good little distance.
Yeah.
Adam did with me. He went probably like 45 minutes, and I was like, and we were still, and like, but we're in Jacksonville, pothole city, you know.
Yeah.
So we're like, he's like, the whole time I'm going like 30, like swerving shit.
So how did that clutch fare out? Like, how did
it was okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was okay.
Coolers are the biggest.
Worry, you know.
Yeah. Coolers are a good trick, you know. Like you said, coolers. Like Mark, our buddy Mark at Rat Bastard, he's got an incubator that's a cooler, and it's like, dude, like that's what a lot of people do. If you are crunched for time or don't have the funds to go buy a big ass refrigerator, you know.
Yeah.
And that it works. Coolers are awesome if you do it right, for sure. What's up, Shauna? Good to see you.
Yep.
Throw me the cheers, girl. Come on. Blow it up. Hell yeah. So what motivates you to keep going on your bad days? You know, like when you have hard days, you go in the snake room, life sucks, you're just like, ugh, I don't want to do this shit. But you have to.
It's hard sometimes, right? You know, it's a very like self-motivated thing, because most of the time you're the only one they're relying on you, you know. So
and life doesn't stop. You know, life doesn't stop.
Yeah, there's still kids at home and, you know, other stuff that you got to deal with. But I mean, I think there's always, the good thing about it is there's always something to look forward to. Like breeding, you got either like a cool pairing that just happened, they just locked, or, you know, some cool eggs about to hatch. So there's always, you just got to look for like what's coming next. You know, there's a lot.
So always looking into the future projects of what can be. You know, this is worth it.
Yeah.
It might suck right now, but the end result is worth it.
Yeah, there's definitely lows and highs for sure. You know.
Awesome.
Facts.
Who are some like breeders or mentors that inspire you, you know, to start doing this back in 2016, 17? Who were you focused on then in that time period? Because that's around the same time where I started getting into like wanting to buy, and it was like really only a couple. You know, it was like Kevin McCurley and BHB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I looked on Morph Market a lot because I think it was just starting back then. And then King Snake 2 was like for sure around, you know, like so I browsed around that. And then just there was a lot of podcasts back then that don't exist anymore that were really good, you know. So I listened to a lot of those. And then Justin had a couple, you know, some YouTube videos up that I watched that were good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just listened to like all the podcasts back then, you know, they were good.
Come on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
Now I got a good question that like I can say that we haven't really asked. Is there anything else besides the ball pythons that you are breeding or doing on else than the ball pythons?
Please say lizard. Please say lizard.
I do have a lizard.
Okay.
I'm working on it. It's a lavender Euromastix.
Wow. Oh, doing some Euromastix. Sweet.
Yeah,
sweet.
Cool.
Desert species. Desert species.
Yeah. It's like a morph of Euromastix that's like bright orange. They're real cool.
Hell yeah.
So
come on.
I'm working on that. Yeah. I've always had like random other things. I had water monitors before. Never had success with lizards. The water monitor, they were like both the Het T-Pause pair.
What is it? He has a water monitor. He's got a big old water monitor.
I love my water monitor, dude.
He loves his water monitor.
Her name is Ducky. Well, I think it might be a dude now because it's gotten way bigger and its spurs are like it's. You know, they have spikes, but I've read that females have them too. And we took her. She goes to the vet because she's outside and she has to go for a checkup, just like any outside animal, I guess.
Okay.
And the vet loves her.
Yeah.
But you know, I think he don't know what she is. He's like, I can do a test, but it's going to cost more. And unless you're breeding it, there's no point to do it. You know.
There's the euro. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to show up. My bad.
I saw
it. It's a light lizard, though. Is that one of the big uromatics?
No, they get probably like that big.
Okay, yeah, big, I seen one at a show one time that I didn't think was a uromatic.
Yeah.
I thought
there's some species of euros that get real big for sure.
I think it's like 20 eggs too. You get a lot.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the water monitor I had to pair. I bought them as a pair. You know, the female was a male, the male was a female. So obviously they're not easy to sex. You know. But she laid me a clutch, and then a week later she died because she had an egg inside of her still. So,
oh no!
After that, I was, kind of
devastated.
Yeah, I was like,
and that's why I didn't want no more female lizards because of that egg binding.
Yeah,
you know, female lizards. Like I had a female blue iguana.
Yeah,
and I got rid of her. It wasn't because of that, but I was so nervous that she was going to get egg bound.
Yeah,
because there was never a male.
Yeah. They're so cool, and you get attached to them so much. You know?
Oh my god, dude! I had a tegu too, a black and white, just regular tegu. He was freaking massive. You know, his name was Mushu. Had to get rid of him because of laws.
Yeah,
and you know it was just stupid. So.
Lizards are cool.
I love my lizards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're definitely awesome.
So I guess we'll get into industry trends in the future, Justin.
Yep. Where do you see the ball python hobby in 5 or 10 years from now?
I mean, I think. You know, everything slowly changes, but I mean, if you look at 5-year difference from 5 years ago, everything seems to change so fast. But I mean, it's all like, you know, it's still pretty similar to what's going on now. You know, you're still trying to make cool clown combos. You're still, you know, making cool pies, multi-recessive stuff, codon stuff's faded, you know, more. But I mean, you could still make some cool codon combos.
Correct.
So I think it's like. You know, you don't need to make like a 5, you know, recessive gene, you know, snake in 5 years to, you know, to be relevant. But I think that's kind of, you probably should be working towards that anyway, you know.
Right.
Which
shed testing,
we all should be. Yeah.
That and shed testing kind of changed the game. So I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to be like unknown that just come popping up out of nowhere with some crazy shit eventually, you know.
Yeah.
The shed testing game is putting a lot of people further ahead and
for sure
quicker ahead with some stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know if it's overall good or bad, but it is, you know, it's changed it and you just got to go with it, you know.
You got to ride with the flow. That's what I tell everybody. Change is good. You got to walk with the trend or you're going to fall behind, you know.
Sure. You know, change is hard for a lot of reasons, you know.
It is, but you can't get content with anything. I tell everybody, content.
Like shed testing, you know, just like you just said, I had to change my outlook on shed testing.
Yeah,
because for somebody, you know, like you know, shed testing back then there wasn't shed testing, and you were spending money on whims or somebody's trust. Like you had to trust that was a hit something, and if you spent enough money on it and come to find out it wasn't, so I hated shed testing to begin with. Like I was totally against it. Hated the shit. I was like, man, I got ripped off. They need to get ripped off and learn, you know, learn what to look for. Learn, you know, I'm one of them guys. I used to be
salty.
Right, he's salty, ain't he?
Well, I was jealous.
Back in my day.
Well, I was jealous because it was like
back in my day, he's trying to use a wrench.
Tribulations, and I was like, fuck that. But now I think it's a good ass thing, especially when you look at the prices of certain animals. And I started thinking about it as like a AKC registered dog, you know. And then I was like, if you have that paperwork, you're getting more. And it's not about the money, but you don't want to rip nobody off, and you don't want to get ripped off either.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't want to piss anybody off for selling a snake and saturating the market for $100 because you don't know what it is. No. You know what I mean? So I really like shed testing though.
Yeah, it's good.
So on that note, do you think the market's shifting more towards high-end animals or pet quality animals?
I think both are still selling pretty well. You know, I think you got to do a little bit of everything. I try to make like really, really awesome stuff. You know, there's really exciting stuff coming, hopefully, you know. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of everything, there's not just one thing to do. Because at a show, you could sell, if you sell like 8 $500 animals, that's pretty good money. If you sell one $4,000 animal, that's pretty good money too. It's not like a $500 snake is pretty good money still. So
I know people that make bells all year that just want to sell a shit ton of
them. Hides, bells, all that shit's gonna sell. Yeah. You'll sell a lot of pastels to pet owners.
Yeah, for sure.
Single gene pastels, $100.
But yeah. But yeah, I think everything's good, So I don't think the goal in each clutch is to make pet animals for me, but there's such like combinations that some things are gonna be cheaper and some things are more expensive, so it kind of works out.
So is there any like new tools or techniques that you think would change the game eventually?
I mean, shed testing's obviously that one, but we just talked about it, but
right.
Nothing to my knowledge,
Okay.
If somehow we could like artificially inseminate, snakes, that would be crazy, right?
That seems like it would be a lot to do though, right? Like it's so easy just to let them do it. That they like to have it.
I don't know. Sometimes you can go to pop them some bitches and the sperm just comes right on out, so it might not be hard to collect the shit,
Just sell it. Hey, I got some jaguar semen.
Yeah.
You want that? $50. It's way more affordable.
Yeah.
That would be wild as shit.
And I watched Dr. Ben from RGI.
Yeah.
We were talking to him that night. I think that was on Key's show. I can't remember, but we were talking to him and he was talking about how they would like to try to implement something like an at-home thing where like big breeders can buy like boxes of these tests pretty much. And it makes the process a lot more simple and maybe quicker.
Okay.
And stuff like that, and I thought that was awesome. That I was like, damn, that's cool. And I don't work anything really that I'm like, I need to get a shed test because I don't make expensive animals like that. And you pretty much know what's in it because it's like a dominant gene.
Sure.
Like maybe one recessive, but it is what it is. But I don't need it. But I understand that if I had snakes like you have, like Justin has, and certain people that they've invested money into this heavily. I would like a box of shed test kits up there, just chilling. It's like a pregnancy test. You just get that peace of mind.
That'd be cool.
And that way you're not. It would be more affordable in the long run, and you wouldn't have to worry about keeping it for so many years and then breeding it back because you didn't want to pay for a shed test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say at-home test is more or less what you're getting at, more or less.
Yeah, an at-home test deal. Like he was explaining it. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
But it was pretty cool what he was saying, and when he said all that, I was like, okay, I'm tracking.
It would change the game for sure with the whole testing thing. Like, there's some yellow belly tests and some clown tests and this and that. But yeah, you could figure it out pretty simple. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a boy.
Hey, a sex test. I would much rather do that because I am like, look, everybody makes fun of me, and I can do it in a pinch, but I usually have to get other people to do it, like help me, like because I don't get the idea of like doing it, and everybody's like, it's so easy. You can do it with one hand. I'm like, well, you can go to hell because I can't do it. Like I tried for years, and my old lady, when she was around, she was the one that did it. So I didn't have to worry about it. And now she's gone, and I'm like, well, fuck me. I'm just going to have to drive to Florida and get Justin to show me his little Mac Daddy peen popping skills.
I just learned off of Billy. I just watched Billy and Austin show that.
Oh, dude, I've been watching it for years. I'm like, Brian, Cusco. I mean, literally, Hardwick. Everybody that's ever made a peen popping video, I've watched it, and I just can't get it. I got probes. I can do a probe before I can do a peen pop.
Yeah,
because I feel bad. I feel like I'm gonna hurt them, but with a probe, sometimes I feel like I don't do it right. I feel like I don't do it right because I'm scared I'm gonna hurt it.
Yeah. Well, no, don't get it wrong. There's some that like are a pain in the ass to get to pop out any fucking thing.
It is hard,
all the time. So I've called Patrick up, and Patrick will come over with his probe kit and probe them. And I won't probe because I'm like, nope, I get sketch over it. I'm not dealing with that. I'm like, bro, I watch you do it plenty of times. Here you go, you know.
Well, John, the thing is, Forge, is that these tests that he was talking about, it was you still have to send it in, but the process is shortened.
I'll tell you what,
you have everything at home ready to go. There's
so he's saying like you extract it at home and then you send like a
or you could do like what does he call it, a scale clipping?
Yeah,
where you can clip the scales. Yeah. And I mean, you know, I don't know how the science works, but he's a doctor, you know.
He's DNA. Yeah.
I can tell you what, though, since I got that ultrasound, I did find out a couple weren't females that I thought were females. When you keep going down, up, down, I'm trying to find follicles. I'm like, this shit ain't adding up right. This shit ain't.
Can you see, can you see hemipene?
Forever. Let me just check it, you know. And I popped it, and sure enough, sperm comes all out. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Well, can you see hemipene with an ultrasound? Can you see those?
No idea.
No.
I don't think so, right?
No. I just was looking for follicles, and I wasn't finding shit, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, if you had to, like, is it a thing where you could use that as a sex determiner? Like,
I've never heard of that. I heard, like, for lizards, you can x-ray them or something. Like, there's some ways to do other stuff, but.
Well, yeah, lizards are very weird. And like, people with crested geckos that do that, I'm like, God bless your soul, because they'll sell babies and they're pretty fucking accurate on the sex.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that. And some lizards, you know, they say water monitors, a female water monitor's head is more narrow and slender, like it looks like a lady type shit, but man, it's so hard to tell, you know.
No idea.
God bless them.
So, Andre, what's one thing in the industry that needs to do better as a whole?
John's on one tonight.
Yeah, he is. You see him? Like, this is the most. He's on a roll tonight.
He's dirty tonight. He needs to come Sunday to Kurt's channel and do the fucking feelings.
Yeah, just let him rant for a little bit.
Was
Jamie mean to you tonight, John? Is that what it is? Jamie beat him up tonight. But no, go ahead, Andre. I'm sorry.
I don't think I have a good answer for that. I stay out of the drama, so I don't know like what's going back, you know.
I mean, not drama technically. Like, what do you think as a whole, like, that we could all do better? You know, I mean, even with coming down the shows, it could be anything. You know, it doesn't have to be drama or necessarily.
Yeah, because let's be honest, there's going to be drama in anything.
Yeah,
anything you do, you could go play fucking frisbee golf. There's going to be drama.
I'm gonna tell you suck all day, Nick.
I like frisbee golf. I always go towards be professional, you know, like even when I try to, when I ship stuff, try to make it as nice as possible, because if you're not seeing that customer in person, when they get your package, you're kind of showing them who you are. And I've got snakes that weren't labeled. There's no, you know, receipt. There's nothing in there. It's just a snake in a box. And you're like, I assume this is the one I want, but I don't know, you know. So like, I think some people can up their, you know, that kind of stuff.
Your husbandry program,
getting like a dirty box or anything like that. Like, just be professional, bro. Yeah. Like, do you want that image?
Yeah.
Come on. Like I say, you use Husbandry Pro, so I'm sure you're doing like I give out info sheets, everything with when I send out a snake, you get an info sheet with it, everything, you know, which
that's very professional.
Yeah.
If I had
stickers, you get Kurtwood stickers, Stan, See a Serpent stickers. I throw all the shit in there.
That's the way to be, right? Like, be professional and give away free stickers. People love that. And ID the snakes. Put it on the bag or something. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, Husbandry Pro, like, it gives you that. Like, why not? Like, you can go really right there and click print info sheet, and it gives you everything right there, you know.
Yeah, and I have like a separate sticker format for when I ship snakes, so it has like I'll print that out and put it on, you know, on it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I've been looking into getting a printer. I have a printer in the back of my work truck in my van that I found. I work on base, so people throw away all kind of stuff because when they move, they have to go by weight, so they'll leave a lot of cool stuff behind. And I got to see if it works, but if it works, I've definitely been looking into the Husbandry Pro thing, and just because it looks better, I mean, and it's easier for someone to see a feeding chart, because you know, like you said, it's perfect. It's literally like a spreadsheet of the snake's life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Awesome. Well, I guess it is time, everybody, for Tyson's quick hitters. This is what we call the fun round.
Okay.
I'm going to take my quick hit, and Tyson's going to have some fun. So have fun, you creature.
Put them in the hot seat for a minute. We can put both of them in the hot seat.
Go ahead. You know how to do this. You know how to do it. You know how to do it.
I'll put them in the hot seat. I'll put me and you removed from stage like this.
There it is.
All right.
All right. Some rapid fire questions here. Favorite morph of all time? Is it the Trojan?
Desert Ghost.
Desert Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that, especially with the Xanthic and the clown and wicked combos.
Yeah.
The opposite, least favorite.
Probably Spider.
Spider.
Yeah. It actually doesn't look bad, but yeah, I just never. Yeah. Always avoided it. Yeah.
And you said you have no spiders.
No,
right
I don't have
now.
any.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have two females.
Yeah.
I love the wicked like lightning combo to it.
They're cool. Yeah.
Just gotta play it safe though.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Most clutch moment in your breeding career.
Let's see. One really cool clutch I had was like 3 years ago. It was a Pied double het DG clown to a pastel triple het, and I made a pastel triple visual, and then a DG Pied het clown, both females, and then they just both laid like a couple weeks ago now.
Oh, nice.
So
you're waiting on those.
Pretty happy on that. Yeah.
That's gonna be solid. That's gonna be awesome.
Excited for sure.
So instead of sending me the snakes I talked about earlier, maybe you could send me one of those bad boys.
Yeah, you choose one of those.
One morph you would bring back from the dead, like make it popular again and have that whole nostalgia thing with like the pastel and the pieds and all that.
I think pied. People start, I think pieds though, bring it. People need to like it again.
Yeah, you're sleeping on it now.
I know. I think so. I like pied a lot.
Yeah, I just went to. We have a local reptile store here, and I just saw a yellow belly pied.
They look great, right?
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Yeah,
nothing wrong. What's that? Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah, pieds are awesome.
I feel like I know the answer to this. What's one morph you would erase from existence? Is it Spider?
It's probably Spider, yeah.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
It's a mean question, but it'll go with that. Yeah.
Honest answer though. I appreciate that. And my favorite question, last question. If you weren't breeding snakes right now, what would you be doing?
So before I was breeding, I was a medical laboratory scientist. So I did like blood tests for, if you went to the doctor's office or a hospital. So I would probably be managing the lab in like a hospital or something. Which snake breeding is better than that. So.
Right. Yeah. Little more entertaining. Was that in Virginia or?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, well, I feel like you could get on the shed testing side of things too if you wanted to.
Yeah. I understand the science and a lot about the testing side of it for sure.
That's pretty cool. So I was the guy that gave you the blood. I had my phlebotomy, so I used to draw blood for a good minute.
Nice.
So
nice.
I think
my CNA and my phlebotomy. So I did CNA for a minute, and I did phlebotomy on the side for my extra side hustle. But I made more money doing phlebotomy working for the damn blood bank than I did work for a nursing home.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's what you do.
It was fun doing that.
Breed?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a big leap, right?
It
is. That's a dedication. Like you can't fuck up. You have to do it. That's your motivation right there. That damn money, that paycheck. You got to have a paycheck, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But you said something about pied. I love, and like Mitzi said, and Tommy said, I love pieds too. I got rid of all my pieds because, to be honest, the only reason I did it is because it gets too difficult for me personally to identify pieds. Like I can't because pieds already have an orange tint. They already look extreme as a normal pied. Yeah. Anyway, and then you start putting other stuff with it, and I'm just like, no, fuck it. I can't.
Like your OD pieds. Like I like your cinnamon pinstripe pied. When you keep them simple, like you said, don't stack the
pied. Yeah. If you can keep it to something that's the dominant thing, that like a pinstripe or something where you can keep it and you know what's in it. Yeah. or like a pastel pied. You know what I mean? Something.
Pastel pied looks good.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like it gets hard once you start adding, because I've had normal pieds that were sold as normal pieds that were darker. I've got normal pieds that were fucking really orange looking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's like they probably sold them to me not knowing what was in it either.
For sure. Yeah.
Because it gets difficult. For sure.
It limits, and also like a lot of genes don't go with it. You're getting an all white snake or something.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. Do you like since you like pie? Are you a low white man or a high white man?
I like low white, so yeah, more pattern.
Me too, dude. Me too, for sure. I like the pies where the white's coming up the belly, just a hint.
Yeah,
and and oh man, that's awesome.
That's why blackhead pies, at least with the ones I've produced a lot, there are very low whites. You got a lot of dark pattern and then some white.
I hate to say, but throw some pinstripe in there, you're gonna get the saddles back. You're gonna get pattern back.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. I hate to say it, but it's one thing I kind of figured out. Like I can show you a cinnamon pied where it's just a head, all white body.
Yeah.
But I can show you a cinnamon pinstripe pied, and there's a shit ton of saddles back, and it looks fucking gorgeous.
That's weird. Yeah, and she does.
And you're like,
too. That's weird. Pinstripe does it.
Like, here you go.
Justin will do a little snake and tail really quick.
Just your cinnamon pied, just the head,
Yeah.
Just the head. Then now check this one out.
I love cinnamon. Cinnamon's one of my favorite genes.
Now look at all those saddles back, and then look at all the outlining on the saddles.
Yeah, like dark edges.
It's super dark.
It gave it such a cool pattern, tone, and look to it. Everything all around.
What's that one?
It's just cinnamon pinstripe pied.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
And that's what I'm saying. The difference in the pods is like, how the hell are you supposed to know?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, Just keep it simple.
Like this one doesn't look anything like it, but it's the same exact snake.
I've learned that with pin. Like I'm not a pinstripe fan. I kind of hate it. Kind of takes over your clutch. Yeah, but I've learned that with the pies, when you have these high white pies, throw a little pinstripe in there and watch you get some of the pattern back and get some of the saddles on your high white pies,
Yeah.
And see what you're going to get back out of it, which is I like it. It gives it that outline shading like somebody drew it and whatnot,
Yeah.
Everything has its purpose. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a pinstripe fan.
Yeah. Everything has its place.
Does well with pies. For sure.
I'm pinstripe heavy as hell, and if anyone knows me lately, I was trying to get out of pinstripe and only have like my albino pinstripe, stuff like that. But like it has gotten to the point to where I am so pinstripe heavy that if I pair these males, that's all I'm gonna have, and it just be pinstripe everything, and I don't want that. But some of these snakes I couldn't say no to, but pinstripe is so fucking overpowering. it literally and champagne.
It'll take over your collection. It'll take over.
Yeah, and if you have something like that, you have to be careful, because I'm telling you, one season I have it on my YouTube. I was like, I had a super pinstripe champagne or some shit, sin pin or some, I don't fucking remember. Champagne. It was a champagne, and then I bred it to a spider pin, right? I got two regular, that was a long time ago. I got like two regular spiders, and then I had literally nothing but pinstripes. But I fucked up because the albino that I was breeding, at that time I didn't have another albino female, so I was just throwing him. He was an albino chocolate pinstripe. I was just throwing him to stuff, But back then I was doing just Who's Your Daddy. I was cycling my males, just playing. It was fun, And dude, I literally probably had like 30 something pinstripe babies, just regular pinstripe, like nothing. Like I had a bunch of chocolate pinstripe, which were sweet. And then
you're giving them things away.
Oh, bro. Well, that was the time where that dude from that other company at that show, he literally
bought your whole table.
He bought my whole table because he was on tour with the Show Me show, and he sold out, so he had to make his money to make his trip worth it, because and that's what me and Justin talk about all the time, man. People hate on people that flip animals, and as long as they're doing it ethically and justly for the animal, then I don't find anything wrong with that. It puts money in my pocket. Like if you have a pet store and they'll buy 20 of your babies, man, and they're a good pet store, why would you not do that?
Yeah,
listen, this is the thing in this community. You have hobbyists and you have businessmen. And if I'm a businessman, I'm going to take the business side of the thing, whether I'm pumping out collections or not. I'm going to still bringing money into what I have to for my business. So at the end of the day, that's where I feel like the two differences is you have hobbyists in this whole community that want to look at just the hobby side of it. Then you have people that are actually business oriented people, Bavu, Justin,
Chimera.
You know, you're gonna be business people. You're gonna be smart. You know, you're gonna you're not like at the end of the day, like I run my own company, I own my own company. I know how you have to figuratively be to run a business, and that's what you have to do. Like I don't know, and people hate on that, and I don't think there's a problem with it. You know, I really don't. I don't think there's a problem with that at all.
If you're selling healthy snakes, it should be good. You know.
Yeah, right. You're not a sweat house full of animals, you know. Yeah. Like that's where it gets kind of like, all right, what the hell is going on, you know? But no, you have to be very professional at anything you do. So I
will say that there's a lot of people. Well, there's a lot of people that do flip animals, and that's what gives it a bad name. Is because you have these people, like for instance, my blue iguana that I was talking about earlier. I bought that as a captive bred iguana, right? No. It was not tame. It was not captive bred. It was straight from the fucking wild because when she went to the vet, she was slammed full of worms and parasites that you can only get from down South Florida, out in the wild, you know. And it was like, you got to watch that because people will buy those animals, you know, wild caught, even from overseas. Like they'll buy a fucking, I don't know, you know, whatever. If you do venomous, they'll buy a fucking king cobra from overseas and say it's captive bred. It's not. But that goes for water monitors. My water monitor, I traded that Champagne for that water monitor because I was getting out of Champagne spider because I got sick and tired of people that don't know what they're talking about coming up to my table at a show saying, you know, let me tell you, I don't know if you've realized this, but spider and Champagne is detrimental to the reptile world. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? You know, like, who are you to tell me? This snake came from Bob Vu. This is the best snake I got in my collection, and it's got fucking spider in it. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. You got to watch out for that damn captive bred tag at the end because if they put CB at the end, a lot of times it's probably not captive bred because people that are doing captive bred animals don't feel the need that they have to put. Like we're not putting captive bred after every ball python we sell because it's obvious.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I think that's a good thing to look at too. But it's not bad importing animals. I'm for that. I mean, we wouldn't have the animals we have without that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So besides Trojan, what are you trying to else get kind of? Because actually, I want to go back on John's question you asked earlier. Besides Trojan, what kind of else heavy are you trying to get into and you're working more? I know you said the Xanthic Pied, Clown, DG you're trying to hit, but that's going to be a process. So what else kind of like are you focused more on in the routes you're kind of taking without spilling your beans? Because I know we all have secrets we want to keep.
Yeah.
So
one gene I'm trying to work more this year is Black Adder. So
hell yeah, I got some adder now. I got some adder now.
It's really cool, you know. It's dark and it has a weird pattern, you know. So, hopefully, gonna get that in the Clown and Pied and just see what happens. You know, I don't know what's gonna look like. You know.
Come on.
And then just add.
Did you get that from Casey?
I got it from Justin.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Pastel, Blackadder, Het, Clown Pied, male.
Wow. Okay. So that pastel being in that probably makes it wicked, doesn't it?
It looks real cool. Yeah.
I bet it does.
Yeah. He didn't really breed for the first year, but now he's doing good. So,
awesome.
I hope to get some stuff from him. But yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like in Clown or Pied. So just gonna, play around with it and just see what happens.
Yeah, I think I got my.
Yeah, that's a good one you don't really hear a lot about, really. I mean, you do, but you don't kind of thing. It's like
there's your Coral Glow adder.
Nice.
Coral Glow. Here we go with the fucking
banana. This is a good line.
Jesus Christ, Kevin.
But no, I love adder. That actually is one. And also I have Furrow, which is another big one that I'm trying to
like that too. Yeah, I really like that.
But the Black Adder, I have I think HRA Black Adder.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
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 So you like the dark stuff, that's a good right? So it sounds like you. Tyson does. I think we all do, but I really do, and I think Tyson does. Tyson, didn't you get? What's the most recent snake you got? What was that?
That was GHI mahogany, and then it was het piebald, and then pos het lavender albino.
Cool.
Okay,
Hell
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, mahogany.
Yeah,
I like mahogany a lot.
That snake was awesome.
Yeah, the goal is to make that abyss piebald. Hopefully one day.
Just tell him
John
yes,
is
Andre.
on it, dude. Just answer the damn question for him.
Just tell him yes, Andre.
Nobody.
Crazy. I'm glad to see him in here though, for sure, man. Morph Forge. Y'all go check out fucking Morph Forge on YouTube and Instagram, but their YouTube is on point. So go check that out.
Yeah, that's a great show.
But yeah, working more Jaguar this year.
Have and like that Jaguar.
Yeah, Jaguar's gonna be cool.
So clean, man. It's like, cool. God, I've seen it on your Morph Market, and I was like, man, if I had the money, I would buy that. Like, I would I want it. It's nice, dude.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're naming some rare ones. Anything besides Adder and Jaguar, you're pulling definitely some out of the book that, like, definitely aren't worth much, and without spilling the beans, maybe. Like, I don't know if you got some, but.
It's definitely Will. It's like Will and that tiger shit.
I kind of gone down the wormhole in that, like 9 months ago, and I kind of went doing that, pulling out some shit that even worked, So now I'm kind of curious where your mind's going,
Other stuff like Stranger, Clown, Het Monsoon stuff, working that.
Monsoon, okay.
Working like Monsoon and the Clown, working Monsoon and Desert Ghost and Hypo.
Okay.
And, hopefully get all three of those together at some point,
Let's go.
Okay, cool.
So I heard Blackhead Exanthic Pieds for sure. I made those like 3 or 4 years ago. They're real cool. Just trying to get that going again.
So you like Exanthic?
Yeah.
What line of Exanthic do you work?
DPI.
Hell yeah! Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like MJ though. MJ
is so nice, bro.
They all look good.
I have VPI, I hit VPI, so I can't say anything. I can't like be a trader, but MJ is so clean.
I hate to tell you, TSK guys out there, I ain't a TSK fan.
TSK sucks. TSK sucks. Sorry.
But yes, I do like that black and white. That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, when I first seen an Exanthic, I was like, and it was the black and white fucking look like a black and white picture, like a black and white picture of a ball python cut out and stuck on regular color Repti chip, And I was just like, is this real? Because you see stuff like that when stuff pops out for the first, time and starts to get big and you see it more, and you've never seen nothing like that, and you're just like, holy shit, like, is this real? It can't be real. This is fake. And, like the people that do the pink snakes on the Instagram, and you're like,
that's fake.
That was the same feeling that I got from looking at that black and white snake, because I don't know, dude. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
It's a pretty perfect combo. Yeah, it's
is.
Great. Yeah,
and then when you put DG with it, I don't know what it is about DG that makes it better.
It does. It's good.
It does.
DG, it's DG, homie.
It's the best.
Everybody wants that DG.
And thanks to Justin, I got DG in my collection now. Actually,
it wasn't just thanks to me. It's thanks to Kurt. Kurt hit me up, and I was like, "Yo, we got to get him some DG."
But I got a good line of DG from Jay at Greenline.
Yeah, that's nice.
He works great, like lines of DG. All of his DG shit is just, it's that classic DG. Like they all look different, I guess. There's different types, lines of DG, I guess.
Hopefully, Ken hits those orange ghost DGs before, which I got one too.
Maybe he'll hit a blue ghost.
He's gonna hit it before me. He's gonna hit the OG.
Maybe he'll hit a blue ghost, Justin.
Come on. So what you said, monsoon. So what you thinking about this monsoon talk about incomplete or recessive? I mean, I have some het monsoons in the drawer, and I could tell you could see definitely a visual with those hets, Yeah. But you got KG, you got some of them preaching out there that it's an incomplete. You got some of them preaching out that it's a recessive. What's your thought on it?
I mean, if you look at a lot of the recessive genes, a lot of them have markers. So
right.
It's just like, how obvious is a marker, and then when do we call that an incomplete dominant versus recessive? Because I mean, a lot of het pieds have markers. It doesn't.
So glad you said that.
that.
Jesus Christ, I'm
Correct.
so happy
Correct.
that someone said that, because I am a guy that I'm like, where's the fucking line in the sand get drawn before it's not a het marker? Because some people, it looks drastically different, and they're like, that's a het marker, and I'm like, dude, like.
Yeah, like some people have, like, say albino has markers. Like, I don't know, but
I don't know.
If somebody can pick it out 100% of the time, then it does, But if you're saying that, like, you can pick it out 50% of the time, then you're wrong, So
well, I mean, really, what it comes down to be, like, I mean, you would know more because you're a scientist, but it comes down to be homozygous or heterozygous, at the end of the day, correct?
Well, I mean, incomplete dominants are still heterozygous or homozygous. Because the pastel is a heterozygous for super pastel.
Correct.
The homozygous thing. So is the heterozygous visual or not?
Well, it's just like humans. It's just like any mammal or any living thing, like maybe just like, let's say my mom had blonde hair, my dad had black hair. I got more of my mom's genes.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, I think that's how it pretty much is, right? Like, but it's still the same heterozygous or homozygous. It's just you attribute more of that.
Yeah.
So it makes it not, and I hate to use those words because we talk about how maybe recessive, the vocabulary in the ball python world is a marketing scheme in a sense, because at the end of the day,
what is it? Scientifically, there's no incomplete or dominant. I mean, if you really want to look at it, there is recessive genes, but I think back in a scientific form, there's not actually a dominant or incomplete dominant. You would go off a homozygous or heterozygous, like you would said. Anything would be homozygous or heterozygous. You would run off of that and how it's broken down, more or less. But I'm not completely sure. Andre, you could correct me. I could be completely wrong. So
yeah, he's the scientist here. He's the fucking one with the know-how.
But that's how I kind of look at it visually in my head. I did go to medical school. I do know somewhat. I did pay attention a lot, so I do know somewhat. But that's kind of how I picture it in my head. And coming in this hobby for the past 3 years is how I look at it.
But like, does it really matter what we call it?
It doesn't. Like, it doesn't. But that's where it comes out to be a still
like monsoon het versus is it
correct?
Whatever. With genetic testing, it's kind of changed it where you can kind of tell what a het is, or you can kind of tell.
Correct. Correct.
Markers help ID stuff, but
But calling it incomplete or recessive is a big money difference.
I think it is
in this game. Well, back I wouldn't say now, because there's some incompletes are running for sure the same price as recessives. Back in the day, that would have definitely been a sales pitch. You want my honest opinion,
Well, because
everybody wants a visual monsoon. The goal is not like a het monsoon. A het monsoon changes the look a little bit.
Correct.
But like you're going for the monsoon. You're going for that.
Correct.
I'm a het king. I love hets.
Do you think eventually, like, hets will, like, say futuristic, maybe 20 years from now, people are going to want combinations, not in some forms of just visuals, but because the hets do a certain pattern change compared to the visual does a certain pattern change, I feel like there is eventually down the road, maybe 20 years from now, 30 years from now, people are going to want combinations with just het of this version and a visual of this version, to get that certain pattern and that certain look,
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If het changes the pattern, then why not, right? Yeah.
But that's again what I'm saying. That's again what I'm getting to is like to an extent, like we have to think like in my mind, I'm like, well, if it changes it that much, because to me, I'm old school, not old school. I'm not like fucking 100, but like I haven't been doing it 50 years. But I'm saying like when I started doing it, het was a hidden gene. Like you don't see it, like you don't know. So it's basically a pos, like it's possibly this, essentially, but it's a het. And when you back then, when you would buy a het pied, right? You do have the markers for a het pied, whatever. But to me, I feel like if it changes the color or it changes the pattern in any way to where it's not just a little ringer or like a little whip, on the tail, or the head might have a little stamp or something like a teardrop or whatever makes it het. But I'm saying like at what extent when it changes it that much, does it not become a het anymore? and it becomes a dominant or a co-dom or an incomplete dom or what the fuck ever you want to call it. Yeah. Like, where is that line in the sand drawn, you know? Because it gets to me, it's like, well, if it's changing it that much, then can you call it a het, recessive, anything? Because it's visually there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it gets kind of weird for me when I hear about het markers and patterns.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But in the day, like, it is what people are calling it now. You know what I'm saying?
So would it be a super? Would a monsoon, if a monsoon changes the pattern or the color so much in a het that you can tell it by visually looking at it like that 90% of the time, right? If you can tell that, then when you make a visual monsoon, would that not just be a super?
The super het monsoon?
I don't know. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's a lot of weirdness to the gene.
That's a Mojave het monsoon. And you can see all the pattern. You could tell what the het's doing to it. You can see it all right there, you know, clearly.
But it takes a little bit of a educated eye to pick up on it, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But once you know what you're looking for, you can tell.
I mean, the eye banding, everything, you know. Yeah. You can see it clearly.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me. It's something I've stayed up late thinking about.
But yes, there is het markers. I mean, like Andre is saying, I will agree. Like, there's definitely het markers that are throwing out more than some others, you know. For sure, 1000%.
I ain't disagree.
I think eventually, because you have so many people in the game right now that are making triple hets, quad hets. Eventually, these guys are going to hit this shit. You know, this shit's going to be on the market. And I think eventually you're going to have to where the game's pushed so much that people are going to be hitting cool shit with hets. I mean, if you kind of look at it as your Krypton and your Cryptic and your Krypton, it's kind of that. It's doing that situation, you know, kind of the same way, you know, kind of in my visually, kind of essentially the same thing, you know.
Well, like het cryptic has a look to it, you know. Some people could pick out like that. That's het cryptic, you know.
Correct. You know, like I think it's gonna definitely play a form in the game down the road. Is it now? Fuck no. You got a ways until that happens. You have a ways till this happens. But do I think eventually? Yes, it will eventually. I'll probably be old, and my daughter will be the one taking care of that situation.
With the Redfoots and the bearded dragon.
Right. You know, the whole farm she got over here, because my whole goal by my birthday, because my birthday is July 29th, so I am now obsessed with a Coda Mundi. So I've been around, and I'm probably going to go. I already found one in Pensacola, so I'm probably going to go to Pensacola and go check out.
I love you for that, Justin. If y'all missed that episode, go to last week's episode after this and watch Tori. She works for Flukers. She's got a Coda Mundi, and she is an awesome chick, and she's very knowledgeable. We're going to have her back on July 19th.
Oh, Andre, I have everything over here, man. I have bearded dragons, African gray, yellow-naped Amazon. I mean, you name it, it's damn near over here, you know. Nice. Hog noses, king snakes.
Don't you have Cyclura, or did you get rid of the rock iguana? What did you have?
What was it?
Didn't you buy some kind of iguana? Not iguana, but like
I had a Cyclura. So my peace throat and my rhino iguanas are what I traded out more or less for my African gray.
Gotcha.
I wasn't going to walk away from it. I've been wanting my African gray, so I kind of did a little trademark and then threw some cash on top of it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll sacrifice these for this because this is what the fuck I've been wanting, you know.
I forgot. Yeah, no, that's right. You did do that because I remember it was kind of sad, you know, because you like the lizards, but you were like, this is a dream animal, and I don't blame you. That African gray.
I grew up. My mom once had African grays and macaws and Amazons and shit, and I watched my mom breed those growing up and stuff. That's why she freaked out when I had ball pythons. She came over to my, what the fuck? You know how to breed parrots, but you're doing ball pythons? I was like, yep, that's. You know,
there's more money in birds. Honestly, I feel there is a lot more work, but I feel like birds
it's a lot of work.
Expensive since you could buy a parrot. Like since you could buy a macaw, they've been thousands of dollars. Like, and the price hasn't went down just because you can find them everywhere and they're pop. You know, it's like they just hold like hog noses. Hog noses are a really good investment animal right now. In my opinion, the way it is, because they hold their value really good.
The bird trade market has kind of changed too. I mean, back in the day when I was a kid, you couldn't find like red African grays. Now you can find all reds. And then you find that now the miniature grays, I'm trying to remember what the words for them they have. They have a certain word for them. But I feel like they're a crossbreed or a hybrid gray because back in the day you couldn't find those. And just like now, like the blue hyacinths, like my mom always used to want a blue hyacinth growing up, and that was like a $30,000 bird. Now you can get them for 10 to 15K.
Yeah, but I've seen them for like I told you, I found one for like 7.
See,
6 or 7.
You're talking back in the day, bro. Just like ball python market, a pastel would have been worth 30K. That's
yeah, like I told you, Mike's dad did the purple macaws, and he sold a breeding pair of them and retired, bro.
Yep.
Back in like the 90s or some shit. He sold a breeding pair of them and retired because they were so expensive. Just parrots, you know what I mean? Like macaws. Like, how can you? Oh, it is a lot of work. He had a bird store and it's actually still standing, but it's like a liquor store now. But they traded bird seed for barley.
That's why I chose ball pythons. It's a lot easier than the parrots, and I can keep my nubs. I don't have to worry about losing nubs.
So, do you keep any like mammals or birds?
I have dogs and cats, but other than that, no. And then
I'm not really a big cat person.
My daughter.
You got a spider?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. I started to get. How old is your daughter? So, because my daughter's 6 and she wants one, but I'm kind of hesitant.
My daughter's 5, and she like takes it out and plays
really
and stuff. It's pretty cool.
You hear this?
That's awesome. She's got more cojones than I got. I hate spiders, dude. I'm terrified.
They're pretty cool.
That's awesome that you did that for your kid, though. Like I built a big enclosure and everything for mine, and I was gonna get her a purple. It was a pink-toed purple tarantula. Yeah. And then I was like, well, how am I going to do this? Like, first of all, I don't know anything about spiders. It was a whim thing, and I didn't do it because, like you were saying earlier, don't buy stuff on a whim, but I did almost do it. They had it at the PetSmart, and everybody's like, PetSmart's the Antichrist. And I'm like, well, yeah, fuck that. It was it was $30.
Spiders are kind of cute, they're like furry and small.
The jumping spider. Now I like the jumping spider, and I've heard a lot of people that are like they like tarantulas. Like they have like what's that? A camel spider? What's the big spiders that are like big? Spider. Is that what it is? That or
you have that, or you have the
bird eater. That's what they have. Bird eaters. Yeah. They're like huge, big, fucking furry tarantulas.
Spider's bigger than a bird eater.
Well, they're terrified of their arachnophobia is small jumping spiders because the way they move, it's like they glitch.
And almost like a robot, like a little robot. How they
move. Like they're glitching like in time. Like it's weird, dude.
I like them. Cool. I don't know if I would. I wouldn't let her get a tarantula because then I would have to touch it probably. Yeah.
Well, what kind of spider did you end up getting?
A jumping spider.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was talking about a fucking tarantula.
No thanks.
Well, that's what my kid wants. She's like,
my girl started out with a jumping spider, and now she has like 30 fucking tarantulas.
Well, now Justin, you can't say anything because you went over to the dark side of the fuzzy-legged friends. And you have a tarantula. You have one of the most dangerous tarantulas in the world or something?
I can't touch mine. And it stays in the closure that I bought it in for the rest of its life.
That's why I didn't do it. I was like, I'm going to feel bad,
I made it simple, I didn't even go out. And at the end of the day, he's my guard dog for the building. So you come in here and you see this pretty enclosure. You want to go put your hand in. Go on, my guest. And I'll find you in my front yard later.
The fangs and the molts are fun. I think that's funny to take a molt and scare people, like put it in their burger or something. That's funny as hell. But I guess we'll go ahead and give our shout out to our folks over at Vision. And
Vision Products has developed the slotted stainless steel Versa Rack, the best rack at the best price. The slotted stainless steel Versa Rack allows you to place multiple overhead light and heat sources above your breeding tubs. Couple this with optional Vision heat cables to also provide an underbelly heat source. Each pin of the rack design, making it modular, affordable, and easy to assemble. This design avoids expensive welding, yet maintains rigid strength and durability. Countless hours of design and prototyping led to the perfect end plate design to make the rack strong, easy to assemble, and keep manufacturing and shipping costs low.
Yeah, everybody, if you're looking for racks or any cool enclosures, go to www.visionproducts.us and check them out. Or if you have like mammals, birds, for instance, if you have a cool Cudamundi and want a nice outdoor enclosure, go to customcages.com. If you have fishes, I don't do fishes, right? Because I'm going to be honest, they're nasty to me, and like the work, it's a lot of work changing it. But if you like that, that's good for you. Go to customaquariums.com. They'll hook you up. They'll build you whatever you want, like a shack enclosed aquarium if that's what you want. But you know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the good folks over at Vision. And yeah, so I guess we're toward the end of the run. I know I got to go to work tomorrow, but I just want to say I have really enjoyed this. I think this is one of our greatest that we've done. I want to thank, of course, Justin's chooch ass for sitting with me for an hour and a half every Saturday night. I'm sure there's a lot of things that he could be doing, but Justin, you're the man. Thank you.
I'd still be drinking my mule.
Hey, baby, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna turn up backstage.
If anything, I'd be cleaning snake racks, you know.
Yeah, that's the life. And Andre, you're awesome, dude. I mean, if y'all ain't following Chimera, man, y'all are sleeping, because I'm telling you, he's got big things over there. I mean, go check out his Morph Market. You know, his Instagram. Like I said, I'm sure everybody's following you. Who's not? I think when I went to follow him on Instagram, it was like Ken, Justin, Tyson, blah blah blah, and then it was like 300 or 400 other. You know, so yeah, I'm sure they're following you. But yeah, awesome work down there. I appreciate what you do. You're a good sport, and thank you for coming on. And Tyson, thanks for hooking it up, man. And y'all need to go check out Tyson's Detour and his Wave or whatever. Detour Wave Black Lagoon. It's freaking crazy. I really enjoyed that. And y'all, look, RWO, okay, we're having the 100th episode. What is it? Thursday on Justin's channel, actually. So go to Pressure. Where's he at? Go to Pressure Pythons. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss the 100s. We're giving away so much stuff, dude. Like, I think snake, animals, merch, swag packs, all kind of cool stuff. So definitely check that out. And there's a chance for you maybe to get into the new Detour that Tyson's going to be making, and you don't want to not be in that, because like if you get into Detour, you're famous.
Now, Andre, I was going to say, can we get you one day on the show in the snake building and possibly see some stuff?
Would that I'm right now.
No, not right now. Maybe in the future.
Now, but I want to say I want to get you back on. I want to see your collection, man. I want to see some heat. I feel like we just kind of touched the surface. Honestly,
we did for sure.
Yeah. He's
a deep bird. He's definitely a deep.
I don't know if you had a good time, but I definitely would like to get you back on.
Hopefully, a lot of good stuff happens soon. So
come on, I'm sure it will, dude. I'm sure it will. Judging by the stuff that you've talked about and the stuff that I've seen on your page, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a great season. Yeah. Justin, what you got to say, man? I mean, I
tell everybody out there, there's speed humps in the road. I'll keep going over them. Don't let them stop you. The day you bring them down, it brings you down. So, like, don't let any of these obstacles. They're projects, and we work hard and we do what we can. You know, it's what it is. And thanks everybody in chat. Andre, thank you for coming out. Tyson, you're awesome, bro, like always. So, and I couldn't ask for more. Thank you guys.
Yeah, Tyson, what you got? What you got? My dark creature in the corner.
Hell yeah. Oh, so RWO, I appreciate you guys. Nick, Justin. I mean, I just started this last year. You guys invited me in. It's been a good time. Obviously, I still sit back and listen to the knowledge that you guys have to say. So I appreciate that. Had to represent Nick with my custom shirt, that's slime green. And then the OG Godfather Kin back there. And then Andre, I appreciate you. Long time. I'll say fan, whatever. Long time. I when I first started, I knew about you guys. I just texted you. I was like, hey, would you like to be on the show? And you said, let's do it. So that shows a lot about your character, and I'm very glad that I reached out to you. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd definitely like to get to know you more. We don't have to touch
sure. We'll work something out. Like I said, we're having Tori back, you know, because an hour and a half is really not enough time to really scratch the surface, especially with very interesting people that have interesting stuff going on in life. So I guess, you know, I'm sure you do have a lot coming up, or, you know, maybe shows coming up or anything. Is there anything you'd like to throw out there Or plug any plugs or anything?
Next show I'm doing is Bob New Show, Southeast Reptile Expo in Atlanta. I think that's August 8th and 9th. I'll be vending reptile there, so I'll be there if you guys need anything. And then
come on.
I love my reptile chip, bro. So I might hit you up. You might be my supplier.
yeah. And then I think I'm doing Dallas show and ARBC after that, and hopefully Tinley after that.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. We y'all be sure to find out where he's gonna be, because he sounds like he's gonna be a busy bee.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm happy for you, man, and I'm very, very proud of what you do, I guess, for the community as far as making really quality animals and not, what do you call it, substituting your ethics or morals for money. You know, like you said, you don't you're not really, I mean, yeah, money's nice and you do have really nice, I don't want to say expensive, but to most people it's pretty expensive, but they're really good quality, and I know you take pride in that, so I'll take pride that you do that for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And like Tyson said, you didn't have to be on the show, but you did. Episode 9. You know what I'm saying? We rocked it out. And if y'all want to hang out, we'll be backstage. We kind of party backstage a little bit. Chat, you rock. Don't forget, episode 100 on pressure pythons, RWO Thursday. Good night.